Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking this dark cold garage and turning it from this to this for less than $200. So obviously the camera can change its exposure and it looks great in here. It looks very well lit even though there are no lights on. And the biggest problem is these lights. Oh, I don't think you can see it, but they're trying. Really trying, but nothing's turning on. And I'm sure that replacing the bulbs would fix this, but there's only the 3 things of fluorescent lights, and I want to light up this whole garage. Alright you guys, this whole process really, the whole system costs less than $200 to get 90,000 lumens. Each one of these are 9,000 lumens and there are 10 of these LED lights. This whole process is actually pretty easy to do yourself, especially if you already have lights in your garage like light bulbs. You can plug in using things like adapters and whatnot. But I'm gonna go ahead and break this up into chapters for you. Use the little chapters down at the bottom to help you skip ahead if you need to, or if you wanna stick through the whole video, thank you. From here, let's go ahead and jump to the full installation. I'm gonna try and go quickly through as much as possible, but the general install is pretty simple. You'll just take the LED and align it with one edge and clip it in, and then plug in your extension connector, and then move on to the next one. You can also go and just buy a 1.25" conduit hangers to hold them up, and that actually works really well. You can slide them back and forth really easily. With these metal ones, you can slide it back and forth, but it does scratch and mar up the aluminum surface on the sides, which, you know, if you end up pulling them off and trying to move them in the future, that can be a risk of like scratching or cutting yourself. So once you clip them in, maybe leave them in place, but you can slide them back and forth if you need. But an 1.25" conduit hanger is definitely more secure. It'll wrap all the way around it and hold it up in place with no doubts. All right, you guys, so we got our box of lights here, and we're gonna go ahead and start the unboxing process, test them out, see if we can figure out how to install them ourselves, and I'm bringing you along for the process. Unfortunately, upon delivery, this thing was already ripped into pieces, which makes me nervous. So I hope it works and nothing's broken. But from what I understand, it comes with everything you might need. Can't quite see it over there, but there is tons of connectors and wires and cables to, and like they even got like little switches built onto these ones. You should be able to connect this guy however you need to. I'm actually kind of impressed because 10 actually of these where you can take an existing system, pull them off, just cut the wires, and then wire this guy in directly. So this is our wire connector. So we have a little 3-prong plug here on this side, and then 3 little wires on the other end. And it looks like we have 5 of these that are plugs that you can plug it directly into an outlet that have a switch on them. And then they just plug in easily, no electrician abilities needed for this one. And then there are 8 of these little patch cables where it is just the 3 prongs on either side, and you'll plug one, basically plug one light into the next one. And then I have a whole bag of mounting brackets, little metal mounting brackets that will clip the light into right here, as well as these little guys. So these guys you can plug into the end of the light, and it will then connect another light end to end. And so right here we also have these little end caps. You can see they look like Mickey Mouse almost. These are to put in the end of your plugs so that you can prevent corrosion, keep bugs and precipitation and moisture out of there so that it doesn't ruin the ends of the plugs on the light here. And here we have a manual all on one page. And now it's time to check out the lights themselves. Open these guys up. Hopefully they're not broken, damaged, ruined. UPS did do a number on them. They're saran wrapped around the middle and the ends here. And then we got just a plastic bag over the rest of it just to keep it from getting scratched. But here is our 8-foot light bar. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so bad. Let me bring this in close for you. Of course, UPS doesn't care about you or your products. This thing has already bent the aluminum frame. I'm willing to bet more than just this one is damaged. If you look at the pictures I got here from when I first got it, they were not pretty. Good grief. Well, let's just go ahead and plug it in and see if it works. We'll just use one of these little outlet plugs. Plug it in, and that still works. That's a big old 8-foot light bar. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's gonna make this garage so much better. That's encouraging. That gets me excited. All right, so I just counted. There are 40 screws and 40 of these clips, which means there are 4 clips per rod and 1 screw per little clip. And there's many ways you can hang these guys. Up here on mine, you can hang them like long ways or crossways across here, like across the beams. All right, sorry, there's been a development. So originally I had planned to run the LEDs lengthwise along the girders or beams or whatever you want to call them on my roof or ceiling here, but the patch cable here, this guy that reaches between the two, is not quite long enough. I'd have to put it on every other beam, and I don't have enough to do that, and I don't want to do that many. All right, you guys, so this required some forethought, but it is a new day, another day, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull down all the electrical right now, but I actually have an example that I'll throw up here on the screen for you so you can see exactly how I'm gonna lay it out. I had to make sure that the runs weren't any more than the 4 feet that this little connector ribbon is. And I had them in sections of 5, so I do have one electrical wire run to over there, and then one comes up right here along this wall by the door. And so we're gonna have one run here, and it's gonna be kind of a swirl pattern to connect them all. Before we get into hanging any of that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull down all of the existing electrical that is set up for the fluorescent lights in here. So I am now at the point where we have undone all the electrical from up here all the way down to here, but this switch is still active. This switch still has live power coming in and out of it, and so before I open up this box here to turn this light switch on or off, I'm gonna go ahead and go inside the house, turn off the main breaker to our garage, and that way we can then come in here, take off this box with safety, and then be able to run new wires in and out. Number 6. All right, now we got no power running in or out of this guy. I wonder if the man who invented flathead screws was beat up as a kid. Like, the most frustrating thing in the world is a flathead screw. We're now going to run our electrical lines for our lights real quick. All right, I think that's going to work. I have one new line run all the way down to here, and then I have one run to right here. Hopefully that works. Now we can finish doing our game of wiring over here. Alright, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to show because I did make a lot of mistakes and I'm not an electrician, so I don't recommend, you know, taking this on if you're not comfortable with this. I was comfortable with making mistakes and figuring things out. However, if you're not, call an electrician. Next though, now that we got new fresh wiring for our LEDs, we've replaced all the switches and everything in the box except for the main power line that comes in from the home to the garage here. That's the only thing that hasn't been replaced. Everything else is new running out here. So we got a cord here, as well as we got one right here behind the camera, and then it's gonna do that swirl pattern I mentioned before to power everything, and that is next. All right, so I got the first row of 4 put up, and I can't wait. So I'm gonna see if she fits. There we go. It's in. Next thing we gotta do is the wiring for right there. So I'm gonna use these little, of course we don't have lighting, pigtails. Moment of truth. Ready? Just one makes it so much better in here. Holy cow, what a difference one light makes. I can't wait to get the rest up. I'm not a fan of how that's wired. Probably end up getting like a junction box or something, but till then, that's what we got. Wow, what a difference already though. All right, let's go work on the other one, see what progress I can make. All right, you guys, it's not pretty, but I think it'll work. Look at this whole shop. It's like just these two take it from being like a regular old shop to being like, I could work in here. And that's just 2 of them. I got 8 more. It's gonna be bright in here.
Focus, dude. Dude.
Man, moment of truth.
Oh, he lives. Hey,
yeah.
dude. Oh.
All right. All right, my battery's got no juice left, but let there be light. All right, we're done. Unfortunately, I didn't make it out to the garage today till after dark, but that's okay because we have lights. And this is only 4 of the 10. I cannot wait to get the rest of these guys up. All right, you guys. Oh, got this half of the garage done. I have to say, as I'm putting more and more up, it feels like there's diminishing return on like how much light is being given here in this area. But at the same time, I look at the other half of the garage and I'm like, oh, it's like dark over there. Like it's not dark, like there's a light and you can see over there, but it's definitely not lit up like it is over here. It's a noticeable difference, like over here versus over there. So adding the lights over there definitely will help. All right, and now it's time to start hanging on that side. And we're done. Whew, what a process. But all of the lights are up, they're all plugged in. The only thing I got left is if I want to add a junction box to these pigtails, probably should, just have them up there. Man, I gotta tell you, my biggest complaint is that these little pigtail pieces are so short. Like, this is it. What is that, 4.5 inches, 5 inches? Like, the whole thing is 6 inches, but like it gives you about 4.5 inches to work with. So that was a good guesstimate that that's 4.5 inches. But didn't end up using any of my switches. Got it all on one light switch. It gets dark. But that is it. We are done. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a day, edit some of this together, and then work on a well thought out review for you on these guys. So one thing that I know I am going to change about the whole setup that I do have is I did use all these little wire connectors here. I'm not in love with how I have it. So right now it's all set up where the wires are just hanging out in the open and I just have little twist connectors over them. I'm either going to run the wiring through a junction box or connect the wires to a outlet and just add a couple of outlets at the end of each of these runs. And then from there, I'll just use the plug connector option here and just have these stored up and out of the way. Speaking of storing them up and out of the way, you can kind of see here in the corner of the screen, that's actually one of the connecting wires hanging down there. So I actually don't like that very much. So I'm gonna actually grab a couple of little wire keepers that I can bundle that up and then screw it to some of the rafters up in the ceiling to keep them out of the way and safe so that I don't accidentally catch them, snag them, and get them caught and rip things down, unplug things, or break something. So that's gonna be something that'll happen in the future here. I don't know if it'll happen before the video is posted or not, but that is on the list of to-dos, is to put a junction box or an outlet over the plugs, as well as tidying up my wiring. Overall, it's really impressive what we have here. The amount of light that this puts out is awesome. Like, I knew it was gonna be good, but this is way better than I anticipated. Like, if I'm outside of the garage right now, just the 3 little windows, you can see right there, the light coming through those windows is more than the light off of the floodlight hanging from the wall above. So it's almost comical when I'm out here and the lights are on. Luckily it's a low light, so it's not shining up and out into my neighbors' homes. It's very well lit out here. Honestly, I could probably do with maybe 3 less lights than I have here to make me happy. Most users would be happy with 6 total of these 8-foot lights. So if you're shopping for these yourself, there's actually a ton of options on Amazon to buy these. So you can get them in 4-foot sections, 8-foot sections, different lighting temperatures and lumens. These, I believe, are the 5,000 Kelvin, 9,000 lumen each, T8 for 8-foot lights. That being said, if I wasn't using this space to film sometime in the future, I would probably be happy with even just 4, maybe 5 or 6 of these, where I have like one over here on this wall along my shelf here, one over my workbench, one, and then one, basically 2 running this wall towards the door, 2 running along that other wall, and then 1 running along this back wall would be awesome. And then if we really wanted to add another one for like the general user, you could throw one on the header here that crosses over the middle, just so it's a little bit lower and it covers both sides. But that's, again, that's what, 2, 4, 6 total I would be happy with. But because I'm filming, I want to have as much light as possible, so I went off the deep end. Most people use this for a 2-car garage and sometimes even a 2.5-car garage. So if you're thinking, oh, he's just got a 1-car garage, I'm gonna need 2 of these for $200. No, you definitely do not. You can use these in a regular 1-car garage and be still super satisfied with the lighting you have. Even if you're filming, this is overkill on lighting for in here. But honestly, overall, the lighting is fantastic. And the best part about these guys is they are on Amazon. You don't have to go to some specialty lighting retailer or someone else to go find these awesome lights to get these installed. You don't need to be an electrician. You can do this all yourself using just these little plugs here. Some of the options are to get those little light bulb outlets that have a plug adapter in it. You can even keep your existing lights and then put these on up in addition to, and have even more light in your workspace. Where this is gonna be most helpful for me is for looking at things. I don't do a whole lot of auto mechanics, but as you can see here, we can see every dent. Having this many lights really brings things out. Like I can spot a tiny little dent right there. You see that, guy? Without that much light, you wouldn't notice these things. And my wife will probably lose her mind seeing her car in these lights. But the reason I got it is for woodworking, because it's going to provide amazingly even lighting where I won't have shadows. For example, if I'm running my sander out here, I have perfect lighting on all angles. I can even be leaning right over top of it, and look at that. No shadows on any side. It's gonna make it really easy to spot every little imperfection in these. Overall, like I think I said before, this is a fantastic upgrade for your garage, and you don't have to hire or be an electrician to do this. You can use just these simple plugs to get everything up and going. It will completely transform your workspace. You can find links for these lights down in the description of this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing. I am an Amazon affiliate. Using those links do help to support this channel with no additional cost to you. So go ahead and click those links, do your shopping from there. And if you have questions or suggestions for a future video, please leave those in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys if you have questions on these lights, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, I almost forgot to show you guys.